Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Good evening. It's so good to be back with you. Good evening. Yes, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Did you have a good day away from me? Good evening. It's so good to be back. And remember, I'm having chai, spice, iced tea tonight because it may be a little strong. Yeah. And as I said, I didn't know what. It was going to be a surprise for you, and it was definitely going to be a surprise for me. So I have decided mhm, my assignment from my instructor, the Father, is that we would talk about the letters D.E.N.I.A.L. Don't even know I am lying. Yeah, don't even know that I am lying. And the quote for today is: denial is the way people handle what they cannot handle. Wow, that's serious. Listen, say it again. Denial is the way people handle what they cannot handle. Shannon L. Alder penned this. Do you all remember the Serenity Prayer? I'm sure you do. But quote it with me. It says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. The Serenity Prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Without access to the truth, there is no freedom, no recovery, no intimacy in relationships, and often no healing. Denial is perhaps now, the most destructive sin that we can commit. There is a degree that you will find no freedom in your life because you are still in denial. Avoiding facing the truth, being dishonest with yourself, is just as deceptive and sinful as being dishonest to anyone else. Avoiding facing the truth, being dishonest with yourself, is just as deceptive and sinful as being dishonest to anyone else. Now, tonight, we're going to intermingle the life book all throughout this 20 minutes. So, take a sip of your tea and get your life book, please. Are you ready? Let's go to John 8:32. And I'm going to read from the King James Version because it says exactly what I was looking for. And it reads, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Now, I have another serenity prayer, and I don't know that you've heard this one. And it reads, God, grant me the ability to reject the things about me that are not true, the humility to accept the things that are, and the discernment to know the difference. God, grant me the ability to reject the things about me that are not true, and the humility to accept the things that are, and the discernment to know the difference. Let's talk about blame. There are always exceptions. There are always exceptions. But it is rare that any one person is totally responsible for the failure of that marriage or that relational conflict. It is rare that any one person is totally responsible. There are rarely any totally innocent parties. Rarely any totally innocent parties. We all contribute something in some way. This may not be easy to accept, but the fact remains we can tell a lot about ourselves by the people we are attracted to, especially in our romantic relationships. Especially in our romantic relationships. If we would stop, full stop, step, toe on pedal, all of that, hear the brakes screeching as you pull it to a halt, and do a self-evaluation. What does your past look like? I.e., look at your home life as a child. Were there persons that needed to be taken care of? Was there abuse? And what was your forte in all of this? Consequently, could you have been that fixer that we talked about at our last tea party? Your low self-esteem, your being a perfectionist, or your being a pleaser? Only when we stop, only when we stop justifying ourselves and take a long, honest look at ourselves and resolve our problems, do we ever have any hope of a wholesome relationship? Let me say that again. Only when we stop justifying ourselves and take a long, honest look at ourselves and resolve our problems do we ever have any hope of a wholesome relationship. Fix the problem, not the blame. Fix the problem, not the blame. Let's go to Colossians 3:8. Amplified, I'm going to read. And it says, but now put away and rid yourselves completely of all things, of all of these things, of all of these things: anger, rage, bad feeling towards others, curses, slander, and foul mouth, abuse, shameful utterance from your lips. All of these things, it says, put away and rid yourself completely. We only have a certain amount of emotional energy. We only have a certain amount of emotional energy. And when trying to resolve conflict, you can use that energy to either fix the blame, or to fix the problem, keeping in mind that we do not have enough energy to do both. So, are you going to expend your energies blaming the other person, denial, or are you going to resolve the conflict? Or are you going to resolve the conflict? Relationships often have weapons of mass destruction. You've heard that before, right? During the Bush years. Weapons of mass destruction. When you use those weapons to fix the blame, but you never fix the problem, what do those weapons look like? Well, glad you asked. Threatening the divorce if you are married, threatening walking out of the relationship, bringing up each other's parents, using words. We talked about words, right? Words, that pink thing behind your teeth, deadly. And sometimes we've even used children. And any of these will destroy a relationship by tearing down trust. By tearing down trust. Denial is a terrible thing. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Sometimes we unconsciously choose to be ineffective, irrelevant, or even die rather than change. Hard-hearted, stubborn. We'd rather be ineffective, irrelevant, or even die rather than change. Denial. Don't even know I'm lying. Denial. If we want to see change, instead of doing more of the same, which many of us tend to do, when what we are doing is not working, there needs to be some creative and relevant change. There needs to be some creative and relevant change. Nothing changes if nothing changes. You keep doing what you've always done. And what's the rest of it? You've heard it before. You keep doing what you've always done, and you'll keep getting what you've always gotten and will keep feeling what you've always felt. Denial. Look at John 1, 10 through 13. You there? John 1, 10 through 13. It reads, He came into the very world He created, the Father created, but the world didn't recognize Him. He came to His own people, and even they rejected Him. But to all who believed Him and accepted Him, He gave the right to become children of God. They are reborn, not with a physical birth, resulting from human passion or plan, but a birth that comes from God. It says He came into the very world He created, but the world didn't recognize Him. He came to His own people, and even they rejected Him. But to all who believed Him and accepted Him, He gave the right to become children of God. They are reborn, not with a physical birth, resulting from human passion or plan, but a birth that comes from God. So how long? How long will you be in denial? How long will you blame someone else for your bad choices? How long will you say, all men are dogs, when you laid down with them, and this could not have taken place without you availing yourself? How long? How long are you going to expect something different when you keep doing the same things? When you desperately need to sit down and not think about dating? When you desperately need to be more focused on the children that you have than your itch that needs to be scratched? How long? How long? You are journaling. I pray you are journaling. And this is a time when we need to go back and look at things. We need to go back and be honest with ourselves and take ownership of that which we've done. How long will you be in denial? And how long will denial be the reason why you will not be in a wholesome relationship? How long? I thank each and every one of you for sitting with me. I know that this was not and probably was hard to swallow. It doesn't um, speak to everyone, but I like Bishop Yumiko Jones says, I meant what I said, and I was not trying to miss. So if it didn't hit you, okay. But those that it did, I wasn't trying to miss. I like that. I like when he says it. And I may not have said it exactly, but you know what I'm trying to say. How long will you sit in denial? How long will you walk around with an RBF? Because, yeah, RBF. How long? So, I'm going to say again, thank you for sitting with me. And I will see you on Tuesday for you, me, and tea with Lady D. I think you'll be surprised on Tuesday also. I have to wait for my assignment. And I always say, are you sure, Father, this is what you want? But he gives me an assignment. So right now, you and I are going to be surprised again on Tuesday for you, me, and tea with Lady D. Thank you all, and I hope that you all have a wonderful, marvelous night. Good night.